Okay, so 3D views, we have walls. Selecting process, there's different ways of selecting. As you can see, it turns blue, and I don't know if you guys are having problems with that, but it's, once you get hold of how it works, I think it's quite straightforward. If you just step on top of an object, it will turn blue. But that doesn't mean you have selected until you click on it. Okay? Now for walls, and for many other reasons, you can use the tab button, which is very helpful. You can just step on top of a wall, for example, and press tab. Selects the chain of walls. Okay, so you have to click afterwards. So you either click one individual, escape, or you tap and click for the whole set of objects. Yes. That works for the lines too, yes. For any element that is chained to each other, yes. Another thing is that what if you want to select two things? Sorry, you want to select one thing, but there are two things in front of your eyes. That's when you use the tab to go from one to another. For example, I'm going to do a door over here, and I'm going to do a window. And they're very close by. And I'm going to go to wireframe, which is the second object here that I didn't talk about because it was about 3Ds. The first is wireframe, that you see transparent, all the ingredients. The second is hidden line. The third one is shaded, meaning it starts giving primary colors. The next one is actually consistent colors, very similar but just pure colors. This one is realistic. It tries to do a like small rendering already. And the last one is ray trace, just a bit better rendering directly in the interface. Now, you normally don't want to work with the last two. It takes so much memory, it makes it very difficult. I normally work with hidden line or wireframe only. So if I try to select the wall and I have the window and the wall, I can tap and select the other element that is corresponding with the window. Now it seems again that here is very simple. I can just go and select the wall, but later on in any of your projects you're going to have so many ingredients that you're going to have to use the tab oftentimes to select something that is not highlighted in blue necessarily when you're on top. Okay, so tab is very useful. You just have to again understand how it works and then use it in your advantage. Okay, deselect is shift and control adds, very similar to other softwares, no? That goes for lines or for anything else. Good. I'm going to delete everything and I'm going to start a little project and explain the steps that you should use to create your house, and then later on we'll use for the creation of our project. Very important is that you start using levels in a very smart way. In order to see your levels, you can double click on elevations, and I'm going to delete this one, and it tells me, do you want to erase your third level? Because you're not only erasing the symbol of your level, but also the view of your level. So if you say okay, and I'm going to delete this one too, which is the callout I created before, to start a little bit from scratch. These are the levels. Level 1, level 2. And you can create, as I said before, several levels, as many as you want, by clicking on level. And you see how you have smart guides and snapping tools. Somebody asked about the ortho. You can do the ortho, but it's very convenient to just listen and see how all these helping tips come from Revit. So I'm creating now one. I'm just going to say like 13 feet above, and I'm going to snap to both ends, and I'm going to escape. Automatically it calls it level 4. Why? Any ideas?
If the height, the 10, so it became the 4th. So the default was 10 feet, and that would be the third level.
Well, Revit is so darn intelligent, but stupid at the same time. I created a level 3 before, and I deleted. It thinks that it's doing the 4th. It doesn't really record that I deleted the 3rd. So you can change that because it created a level here by renaming. Very simple, no?
But if you want to move level 2 to 12 feet, how would you do that?
If you want to change, and that's pretty much where I'm going, is the levels, what you do normally is select the number and change that number directly. Let's say 11 feet. You press enter and it goes up. You can select it and move it. Remember that if we select, the properties panel changes, but also this toolbar changes. You can just say move this level up and automatically changes the number. So it's very convenient to change the levels of position, and you know that the number, the feet associated to the level will change accordingly, okay? Now here's one thing. You can copy levels. Select one, copy, copy, and I copy one. It calls it level 4, which is good. This time it understood that it's the 4th. But here's the thing. When you copy a level, it doesn't create the view for you. If you copy levels, it won't create the view unless you go to View, Plan Views, Floor Plans, and you select the level that will appear here. It's a little dummy, but it's necessary. So that's why I recommend that if you want to create new levels, that you always go to Architecture and create levels from scratch more than copy them, okay? Otherwise, remember that they won't appear in the views and you're going to be a little bit frustrated. Good. Level is one. Another one is grids. If you go to Architecture, and I'm going to change this to 1/8 scale, and I'm going to delete the section and say, okay, I don't want the view of the section. You can create grids as well. Anywhere you want. You can copy them, and you can offset them with all the similar tools as you can select and delete them, no? So I'm going to create grids, and we're going to do this the first class with the project, and CO is shortcut for copy, and you can just place a number like 50 if you want to copy it exactly a specific dimension. Grid, CO, copy, 50. It names your grids according to the number of grids that you have created. So because I created 3 and then delete them, it started with a 4. But you can select it again, and again in properties, you can change those quite easily. Good. So grids and levels are pretty much there. They are very important because they rule somehow your walls entirely. For example, if I create a wall, you can create a wall snapping to the grid, like starting from here to here, and that wall will be associated to your grid line, okay? So I'm going to delete that one. You can create a wall also saying, as I said, in the property panels, from what level to what level you want to go. That's very important. We have many levels, remember, so we can say that the base constraint is level 1 and the top constraint is level 2, for example. And here you can say that the height is from where you are, always where is highlighted. That's the base constraint. And it goes height to level 2, where you want it to be the top constraint. You can also set the location line. And if it says wall center line and I create a wall, it creates the wall considering the axis as center, no? If you do a finished face exterior, That's the type of wall it's going to do. Finished interior. So basically you can put the walls in multiple ways according to the relationship with the axis that you're drawing. This becomes very important later on because you might have a property line, for example, and you have to be towards the interior of a line. No? I'm going to Control C that. And I'm going to create a wall. In this case, I'm going to say rectangle. I'm going to say, I think it's finished floor, escape that, exterior, no? I make sure that it's up to level 2, yes, and from level 1. And here's what happens now. If I go to the 3D, I created a wall with this type of exterior detail, whatever, somebody did a specific wall. And if I go to elevations, here is my wall. It goes from level 1 to level 2, as I said, okay? Now here's the thing, if I change the level by moving it, because I created a wall from level 1 to level 2, it is attached to where the level is. So if I change the level, it changes the wall. Now this could be extremely annoying later on when the project is so complex because you want to change the level very fast because the professor told you that was wrong and he's changing the entire project. You're going to say, I hate this program. Well, just remember that the wall is attached to that, so be careful with how these things work. Grids. If I go to level 1, I can say AL is align. There's a tool actually under modify. This tool align, you won't use it much in the beginning, but it becomes like your holy friend, okay? Align means that you select two ingredients, first to where you want to align something, for example to the grid, and second, what you want to align to that thing. When you align it, it tells you, hey, you want to lock it there? Yes. I'm going to do it again by moving the wall intentionally down. I'm going to say align. I know the shortcut because I use it often, AL. And I'm going to say grid align to the exterior face lock. I'm going to do it again for that one. I'm going to move it intentionally again. Align, lock. Align, lock. That means that now the grid is somehow like a level in plan. If I move the grid, the wall goes with it. Okay, good. So just to do it very fast, if I wanted to do another wall, but from level 2 to level 3, is exactly the same process. I recommend always going to the level you want to start with, level 2. I say wall, select the type of wall you want, make sure that the top constraint is level 3 or 4, and you create again the rectangle. Make sure that finished face exterior is on, and you snap, and you snap. If I go to the elevation now, I create a wall right on top of it from level 2 to level 3. If I change the level 3, it changes the wall as well. Okay, I'm going to leave it there.